You're listening to 620 AM KEXB.
Yes, we can.
All right, welcome back. Good stuff there. Maria Lucci joining me in the studio, the Empowered Mom. Are you hungry now?
After that, are you kidding? Razzoos and D. Lincoln Prime?
Yeah, D. Lincoln Prime.
Is it being delivered?
Yeah.
Soon?
I'm gonna go ahead and get my Uber Eats.
Yeah,
app.
yeah.
That would be awesome to just go ahead and order that on the show. I've had Uber Eats deliver stuff here during the show.
Oh, we're so doing that.
Yeah, I would love that. Okay, you're a mom, and I know that. Could you happily married, got two adult family there, but can you imagine being a single mom in today's society?
That's the thing, and statistics show. I mean, the divorce rate shows.
Yes, it does.
I mean that it's out there. So
and
it's
I think it was
incredible.
78%. And our guest would correct me, but around 78% of all African American kids are born into or grow up in a single family type environment, which a large percent of those you can kind of tee them off. And I know that our guests have all the stats on that. Chris Coffman of and Delta Emerson, both of Helping Hands for Single Moms, are here in the studio. Welcome.
Hello, Brian.
All right.
Hello, thank
Welcome.
you.
Sir. Best name in the world, though, Delta
Thank
Emerson.
you.
I told you that off air, and I wanted to confirm that.
Thank you.
Yeah, great. Let's talk about what you guys do and how you got started.
Well, how we got started, it's a really interesting story. I had been a minister for 20 years.
Look at you.
And I
Wow.
thought I'd always be one. I loved it. And I was a part of a ministers association, and we wanted to figure out what our next project would be. So every pastor was assigned a section of the city to drive and just say, God, what's out here? What are the needs of this community? And the morning that I first left, said a prayer, took off from my area, I hadn't gone a couple of miles, and I saw a little boy about 4 years old, and he was on a busy street with no adult in sight.
Oh.
Immediately, I realized, he can't be out here. So I pulled alongside, rolled down the window, and I said, you can't be out here alone. I'm going to meet you down at the corner, and we're going to take you home. And there was a lady had pulled in also at the same time. So we walked this little boy back to his house. He knew where he lived, and we went up to this old rundown house and knocked on the door. And a little girl, maybe 9 or 10 years old, answered the door, and her eyes got giant and her mouth dropped open. I said, is this your brother? She said, yes. And I said, are you supposed to be watching him? Yeah, yes. And I said, I need to talk to your mom or dad. And she said, well, only my mom lives here, and she's asleep. I'm walking back to my vehicle. The lady that was there was talking to me, and it was one of those aha moments with God. I don't get them all that often that clear, but God just said, I want you to help single moms. And from there, we asked the question, what can we do to help a single mom who's in poverty? And the answer is help her get a college degree so that she can get the job skills that she needs for a good wage.
Yeah, and that's how it was born.
That's how it was born, and where we are.
And then you empower them, which is then also, in effect, you're empowering their kids to have a different way out.
That's true.
And that's
It's a different path in life.
Yeah, you're breaking the patterns.
Mm-hmm.
It's exponential because the kids are witnessing the mom develop the skill, the discipline to do what they want to do, and it becomes their new norm. And you're right, it's just that ripple effect. It's an incredible thing. It's one of the best causes that I think I've ever been introduced to, and I've been working in the area of nonprofit with them for a long time, and the ROI on this is huge.
Let's talk about that, because you're generationally changing the course of a family. Because if it wasn't for you, there is no college education for the mom.
Sure.
Chances are, and then we just kind of go down that rabbit hole.
Well, and we have an event coming up, and we're bringing one of our graduates from Phoenix out. She graduated about 7 or 8 years ago. Her daughter, Shelley, who watched her mom go through college, just graduated with a mechanical engineering degree. And now we got 2 generations of education. And again, because she watched her mom succeed, she had a whole new paradigm for how do you...
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Talk about God working.
Yeah, God's definitely working. Chris Coffman and Delta Emerson both are here from Helping Hands for Single Moms. You've got that event coming up. Let's talk about the dates and locations and all that good stuff.
Sure. It's called My Mom, My Hero with Harrison Barnes. And we're going to honor his mom, Shirley, who was a single mom and did a wonderful job raising him. And it's going to be at the American Airlines Center. We'll be out on one of the concourses. And our honorary chair is Cent Marshall, the CEO of the Dallas Mavericks. And We're going to have some graduates from Phoenix there, have a panel on the stage talking about their challenges as they went through college and how Helping Hands for Single Moms helped them get through. And St. Marshall will be addressing the crowd. And then we will be giving the award to Shirley Barnes. And Harrison's just going to have a conversation with his mom about growing up and all that she did to make his life come out so well.
I'll be crying. I'll be crying with 3 boys.
Yeah.
My mom, my hero. I mean, I'll be crying.
Yeah. And you've got some guidelines that you guys have put out as far as how you select your moms. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure, I can address that. They have to have, as I said earlier, they have to have at least 1 semester completed in college, because we invest $4,000 or $5,000 the first year in a mom, so we want to make sure that she can do the work. Then they have to have at least 1 child under 12. That's a guideline. We're not rigid about it, but we really want to have moms who have younger kids. They have a chance to actually benefit from mom's better increased income before they're teenagers and out of the house. And she has to be willing to do at least 9 college credits per semester, minimum 2.8 GPA. So that's our guidelines. And it's a very competitive scholarship in Phoenix. We usually have 75 to 100 applications sitting there that we aren't filling. And so we're able to really find the kind of mom that we think will succeed. And we do have an 86% graduation rate in Phoenix.
Wow.
But we have a great system for finding those women who have got the commitment and the plan to succeed.
What are some of the degrees that they're getting? What are some of the fields they're getting jobs in?
Our biggest program is nursing. In Phoenix, we run about 40% of our scholarships nursing, and we have partnerships with local hospitals. We have nurse mentors. We have headhunters that help them find jobs. Sure. But nursing, nonprofit work, and criminal justice education majors.
Nice.
Yeah.
All the caring type of careers.
Well,
So
they're moms.
they're able to give back. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
moms.
They're moms.
And
I
give
mean,
back. Yeah. Also, let's talk a little bit about what the kids feel like. You said earlier, Emerson, Delta, that the kids see their mom acting as a role model, and they later go on to college themselves.
Based on the stories that I've heard so far, we've had a couple of events here in Dallas. As Chris has indicated, this is fully rooted in Phoenix, and now it's in Dallas. So we've started off about 6 months ago with a couple of meet and greet for a few people and brought some women in. And listening to their stories about that, where the child is witnessing the mom have the work ethic to probably hold down a job, most of them do from what I understand, as well as go to school, and then come in, make sure they're taking care of their children and sitting up and studying till 3 or 4 in the morning. And the child lives in an environment where mom is hitting everything correctly, can't help but send a pretty clear message about, if you do this, then this is the result, and see that mom graduate and get a job. And Chris said in Phoenix, they've graduated at this point almost 250 women. Is that correct? And the average starting salary there is over $50,000. Dallas, the projection will be about $54,000. So we're really hoping now that we're on the very beginning edge of it in Dallas, and we need a lot of visibility, support. We've gotten interest from so many people. No one who hears the story is not just enchanted by it because of the cause itself, but the way that Chris has put it together to make sure that it works.
Some of the stories on that. Why are they single moms? Do we have any data on that? Did they leave abusive situations? Did the dad never around?
There's a whole variety.
Yeah.
And every once in a while we have a widow in the program. But for the most part, we know that there's a lot of domestic violence situations that they have left. And in fact, 2 of the moms that are come over from Phoenix come from those backgrounds. The thing is, we have found is these are the most you sit there and you wonder, how could somebody not be happy in a marriage with them, because these are sacrificial, good people, loving people, but they've come from bad marriages and situations where there was domestic violence, and that's very common. We do a discussion sometimes in our single mom college community, and the question is thrown out: would you take your ex back? And it's a really interesting how often they will say, you know what? We hear moms say, as I got near graduation, all of a sudden he wanted to get back in my life because he saw that I was going to be graduating,
Yeah.
making
Oh.
more money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure he was. Chris Coffman and Delta Emerson joining us on the show, Helping Hands for Single Moms. We'll take a break, come back. I'll talk a little bit more about that and how somebody can get involved and donate. We can help out some more single mothers.
Yes.
That's our goal here, right? We'll talk about that when we come back.
From Wall Street to North Texas, this is 620 AM, KEXB.
All right, welcome back. 3:50 on this Monday afternoon. It's rainy Monday afternoon. I'm loving it. Maria Lucci, the empowered mom, in the studio with me. You enjoying the rain?
Loved it and
Love it.
loved being in that traffic.
Yeah. Well, now I know you're lying, right? But you did enjoy all the plants that are being watered right now.
Oh, thank you, Lord. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Very happy about that.
I love it. Chris Coffman and Delta Emerson are with us, Helping Hands for Single Moms. It almost is like the title alone pretty much says, Chris, what you guys are all about. Before in the break, we were kind of talking about, how can someone help right now? I know that you've got an event coming up, which how can someone get involved with that? And then outside the event, how can people help you guys out in helping more single moms?
Well, definitely the event is huge because it's the big splash in Dallas to introduce Helping Hands to as many people as we can. So we encourage people to try to attend the event, which is on September 20th, and go to helpinghandsforsinglemoms.org. And you'll find everything you need to know about that. Just $25 to attend, great food, a lot of fun. There's going to be a shootout with Harrison Barnes, and the winner gets to actually shoot out with him, a silent auction, and a lot of other testimonials from the single moms as well. So that event is huge. But beyond that, we really do need corporations that have budgets for and a heart for a cause like this to come on as sponsors. We're looking for a sustaining sponsor. If we could wave a magic wand right now.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. We would have some company or an individual even come forward and say, I will commit for the next 3 years to give you X amount of money to support an executive director for Dallas. Right now, Chris is on a plane. He's being helped in that respect from one of our wonderful airlines here, but he's back and forth a lot, and we need an executive director in Dallas so that we can fast forward. And there are people here that we know could fill that role, but we don't have the money for that yet. So that's a huge thing. If we could get some company or an individual to say, I'd like to talk to you about that and become a sustaining.
Almost underwrite it.
Yes, so that we could get that person and have a 3-year commitment would be the goal, so that we know we've got that runway. And I can promise you, based on the way that I've seen Chris run this organization, it would be an investment well spent. The return will be there. So beyond that, we need people, not just the money. We definitely need that, because the goal is to have 40 scholarships in place at the beginning of 2019 with 40 young women going through universities around the Metroplex. But we also need leadership. We need thought leadership, and we need some people that will get the word out, that will constantly be willing to tell the story. There are spots on the board for Dallas right now. There's a separate board in Dallas. So anyone who's willing to come forward with their heart, their mind, their wallet, we need it all. The time, everything, and the passion, and just willingness to spread the word. Because sometimes just having the story down and telling it to someone else, you may tell it to the person who would be that person who's able to support it in a really big way. So that's what my magic wand wish would be for Helping Hands, so that a year from now, when we're talking about this, we can be talking about how many women have just made it through the first or second year of this, and how many are, what the percentages are of those that have stuck with it and have some help.
And where do you see yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now? We said Phoenix, Dallas. I can see more cities getting added to the list.
Sure. In 2015, we formed Helping Hands for Single Moms USA with the sole purpose of launching independent affiliates, and that's what I do for my job. And that came from years of phone calls and emails of moms all over the United States saying, can you help me? This is perfect. I need this. I'm a single mom. I'm trying to go to college. And so God just said it's time to expand. And so I could see this in cities all across. We have a great template that's been tested, and it's successful, and it's ready to go. We just need the funding on a national level, too, to just continue. I'd like to see us at least one affiliate a year expand.
Wow.
Are you guys involved in next North Texas Giving Day?
We were.
We were.
Last year was
year.
just, we were so small as a group,
Yeah.
though.
but
we did
bigger presence
we
this
did-
year, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna.
We should be in a better position this year to make some.
There you go.
impact there.
We'll come back on the show and talk about it right before that because
Okay.
I remember one day we raised $5,000 in one show for a
Yeah.
charity
For North
that
Yeah,
needed it,
That's big.
and they were a smaller one, and they needed like the five grand for a big charity sometimes makes a little dent.
Right.
The $5,000 for a small startup charity that just helps, I think it
And
was
in
for-
that amount of time?
let me tell you something. I had to do things I never thought I'd ever do to get that $5,000. But I'm kidding. I'm
That's
kidding.
another
All I
show.
did was ask
That's
for it.
another
To be
show.
honest with you, that's another show. All I did was ask for it, and it came in a matter of like a show. So I invite you guys to please, before you leave today, let's just book it on the calendar. Get you guys come back in there and get that going because this is something that we talk about a lot on the show. There's the philanthropic giving of corporate America is alive and well in this city.
And of individuals. And you want to talk about a God thing. I mean, as the empowered mom, we didn't know.
No.
I had no idea that. And we're like, okay.
So there's synergy
I have moms
there.
reaching out
There's all
to me all the time,
There's a reason why we
wanting
all
to
came here.
see. It's
Solid
This
reason
is
why.
the thing that I think about the old, I think it's a Chinese proverb, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, you teach him how to fish and
Yeah.
you feed him for a lifetime.
Yeah.
That is what this organization is about. And we do have to feed people for the day. You have to take care of that. But this is doing, everything's all wrapped in one and it's got huge impact. So
that's generational impact.
it is definitely.
I agree. Best website for you guys if people want more information on what Helping Hands for Single Mom does.
helpinghandsforSingleMoms.org.
Simple as that.
That's
There was no
where
fight
we're
for that
at.
website.
Our,
huh?
our name with +org.
Yeah. And people can make a donation via that website. It's available.
They can, and to pay attention because there's a USA, a Phoenix, and then there's a Dallas site, and every donation made to Dallas, 100% is going to be used for Dallas.
All right, before I let you go.
We have a match going right now too, don't
Get
we?
that match out.
We have a $50,000 match going
Let
in
me just
Dallas.
let me get my debit.
Oh,
debit
okay.
card real
Thank
quick.
you.
Let's go
Where's your
swipe real
checkbook?
quick.
I'll fill it
Yeah.
out for you.
I'm gonna PayPal you right now. Well, that's pretty cool.
So how does that work, Chris?
How does that work?
So if somebody donates $100, it'll be matched $100.
Up to until we
50,000.
hit 5,000. Then 50,000, and then our program's over essentially. But we'll somebody's putting up a dollar for dollar match for every donation made
Look at that.
here in the next
Wow.
month or two.
And that's for the Dallas organization. So if you do donate, make sure, as Chris said, to go to the Dallas site, unless you have a heart for Phoenix, and he'd take that there as well. But we're trying to get Dallas off the ground
Dallas,
here.
not
We don't want to
Dallas.
fly. We want to do Dallas. Okay, we got about 30 seconds left. Any parting words as far as you guys on social media? What's the best way somebody can connect?
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
just go to the
not-
website.
Go to the website because it has the social media on both of
There
them.
you go. I'll put you guys on the spot. Well, thanks for hanging out with us today.
Thank you
I
for the
appreciate it.
opportunity. Thank you so
Chris
much.
Coffman and Delta Emerson joining us.
Brian.
Helping Hands for Single Moms. I'm hearing the music in my ear, which means I got to take a commercial break. A few minutes, we'll come right back.